life, including connections, teamwork, commitment, and learning how to balance academics and athletics. We are celebrating all types of athletes today, from track and field and cross country, to basketball, volleyball, and softball, to swimming, football, cheerleading, and palms. They are all striving to excel in their chosen sports, and that's what we're honoring today, Girls and Women in Sports Luncheon. So, let's meet our honorees.
Can we just do a quick round of applause for that? Ready to go? Hey, as they say, let's get this party started. Guys, my name is Brad Kitt, and I am the Assistant Director of District Athletics, Activities, and Student Leadership. I'm also the co-chair of this amazing event. And I just really want to make sure that you guys understand that today is a big deal. Can we all just nod our heads, please, if you would? This really is a big deal. And what I need everyone to be feeling and hearing right now is this is one of the single best things that we do here in Douglas County School District. So I just want you guys to know that it's a really, really big deal. And as my mom ingrained in me and in my sister about the character that she hoped that we would have for our life as a part of the Whittakus family, is she had always three things for me. Bradley, she would say. Number one, slow down. Number two, embrace the moment that is in front of you. And number three, be soulfully grateful for the things that are happening in your life. Hey, ladies that are here, our 90 that are here, I'm asking you right now, slow down. Embrace the moment and recognize how thankful you should be of this opportunity to be celebrated. For all the moments that we're going to have today, what I really just want us all to be feeling is be present right now. Moms, dads, celebrities that are here, I would just ask that we really slow down and be excited about the moment. And so with that said, I really want to slow down, embrace the moment, and be really thankful about some specific things. Number one, can we agree to be thankful in the moment right now? It's a Friday. Oh, wow. Okay, great. That's awesome. Thanks. Can we be thankful? There is no current scheduled snowstorm on a Saturday of a weekend and for cancellation of events. But I really want to make sure that we are specifically thankful about this. Guys, there's a Girls and Women in Sport committee that's put together that has brought the tradition since 2007 into our district. And so I just want to make sure for all committee members here that you understand how thankful I specifically am for you. I want to make sure that you understand that we need to be thankful for the foundation. It's the nonprofit arm of Douglas County School District. And they are the ones that financially fund and allow this magic to be able to happen. I hope that we can be incredibly thankful for this place. Can we agree this place is beautiful? We want to welcome you to our district's Legacy Campus. And specifically, I want to give a big shout out to Janelle Ames and her team for the magic that's in front of you. I want to make sure that we are, yes, let's give it up. Did Janelle make it? Janelle's busy. We want to thank you, the one and only, Tommy Pellenuk, who's in the back over there today, who's all a part of our production team. Tommy has been the one that put together our video. Today he is live streaming the actual events for those people that can't be here. And the coolest thing is he's from North Dakota. So Tommy, I just want to give it up to you, my friend. Thank you. ND for life. I also want to make sure that we understand today this is a big moment, that there is other district level leadership here. We have our executive director of schools here. We have principals that are here. We have assistant principals are here. We have teachers that are here. Guys, this is a big event. Did you know this? That we actually have 3 of our board members here who are actually here today. We actually have some leadership from Chasik here to celebrate this event. Guys, this is as big as it gets, and so I want to make sure that we are in this moment of being thankful, and I hope that we can truly be thankful for every single coach that has been a part of the magic for your daughters' lives and for these amazing independent warrior women here that have spoken truth into your life for the sports that you have chosen to play. Yeah, let's give it up. And I really want to be thankful for numbers. Yes, numbers. The first number, 6,100. 6,100 is the number of audible screams of agony that could be heard in area homes as the stupid Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and I think we can agree to that. 6,100 is the number of girls that participated in athletics last year here in Douglas County. Can we please give an applause for that? Numbers. And of that 6,100, 90 have been chosen for the moment here today to be celebrated. Ladies, I'm speaking directly to you. You need to embrace the moment, slow down, and recognize we are recognizing your value, not just as a student, not just as an athlete, but as a human being. Who you really are, who you truly are, is represented in every single facet of what you do. And so our young independent warrior women, I say to you, congratulations for being here today. And in fact, this is the only time we get a chance to do this with all of them. So if you are an award winner, I need you to stand up right now. So girls, let's go. Go ahead and stand up. All award winners. A little bit louder. Let's go. It's always that awkward moment. Do I sit now or later? Numbers, 90 plus. It's a little bit of a squeeze for me, but I want you to understand this. Girls, 90 plus. What the plus represents are your moms and dads, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents, your family members who have helped raise you into being who you are. So to all the people that are in that plus category that I just mentioned, what I need you to hear is this. In nearly 30 years of being in education, some of my favorite moments are when I get to sit at a table across from parents and I get to brag about their kid. I get to speak affirmation about who they are. And the reality is, and moms and dads, I know you get this, for 8 hours a day, you have no idea what's going on. Who are they really throughout a day? And so when I get a chance to sit at that table and I get a chance to speak words of encouragement and affirmation about the work that they are doing, I'm often met with this single response. Oh, it's not really me, it's them. They're really just great human beings, aren't they? And they want to constantly redirect. Now hear me on this. We know your kids are great, but that is not an accident. You have been intentional about how you have raised them. You have been intentional about the values you're trying to instill in them. And today, in that 90 plus category, you need to be encouraged that the work that you are doing is truly producing fruit. And so I'm gonna ask, for every plus category, I am asking you to stand up right now. Moms, dads, grandparents, families, etc. Stand up right now, please. Stand up and be recognized. Girls, go crazy for your families. Super cool. I love the gentleman that stood up too quick and they pulled a hammy. I totally understand where you're at. I only have two numbers left. 36. 36 is the next number I want to celebrate. 9 middle school ADs. 9 high school ADs. 9 middle school administrative assistants and 9 high school administrative assistants. Families, the plus categories, our young ladies, I need you to recognize this. Holy moly, do those people work hard behind the scenes. And some of you right now, I love it. I love the energy right now that you're nodding your heads, that you're recognizing the value of our athletic programs, but of the people that bring it to life. And so what I'm asking right now is if you're a middle school AD, high school AD, admin assistants, I need you to stand right now, please. Please be recognized. Man, that's a good-looking group. And my final number is 1. What I need everyone to slow down and embrace the moment and celebrate now is there is one specific person that we are about to celebrate. She is the epitome of the purity and the passion of what girls and women's sports all about. And the sad thing is she's retiring, and this is her last event that she has pulled the magic behind. So guys, I'm going to be calling up someone special to my life to help me in recognizing her today specifically. He goes by a lot of names. Legend, Hall of Fame, Rafiki, Master Shifu, but I also call him my mentor. I call him my friend. He is the director of our district athletics and activities. Could we give it up for Mr. Derek Cheney, please? Derek Cheney. Could you continue your applause so it doesn't get awkward? Keep applauding, please. Just so you know, she's dying 1,000 deaths right now. This is not her bed.
Okay. First of all, welcome to our annual Girls and Women's Sports Luncheon. This is, I can't think of an event I like better than today, than this event, of the things we do all year long. So just want to recognize the 90 girls here and all they've done. It's just time to celebrate for the next couple hours, and I hope you just sit back and relax, and sometimes we get going too quick. It's nice to celebrate. We do want to recognize, as Brad mentioned, Sue Dakovich, who is our admin assistant for district office. She was previously the admin assistant at Highlands Ranch High School before that. Yep, shout out, Dr. Page. And it's very fitting, I think, to recognize her at this particular juncture in the year, because she has done so much for all athletics, but specifically girls and women's sports. I mean, she's in charge of this event, if we're being honest, right? Like, she has recognized hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of girls throughout the years at this event. And we couldn't do this event without Sue. She really does. She likes to be behind the scenes. Brad and I are going to pay for this the next 3 months. But she really is just been a rock in our department. So what I would like to share, because I think it means a lot coming from your colleagues, is I got some quotes here from her colleagues that I would like to share with you. If you guys will give me about 5 minutes to share those quotes from her peers and her colleagues from our schools. They don't make like Sue anymore. She's humble and hardworking. As a new AD, Sue always made time to take my call and go beyond what was expected to help. I am enamored with her knowledge, generosity, and ability to get things done quickly. She possesses a depth of knowledge on all things Douglas County, and she will be impossible to replace. Next one. Sue is so helpful and encouraging that made it really easy for a new employee in the athletic department. If you don't know the answer, Sue will have that answer for you. Sue is an exceptionally competent individual, effortlessly easing our workload with expertise and efficiency. Working alongside her is a delight, and her professionalism and skill make every task smoother and more manageable. Sue, you will be missed. Sue has been incredible to work with. She supports all of our schools and would do anything she can to help make our lives easier as ADs and admin assistants. Sue is the most genuinely happy person I have ever met. Even when asking to help more than once for the same issue, she never makes you feel stupid or that you are a bother. Her positive attitude with everything makes me want to be a better person. Sue is the most thoughtful and caring person I know. Sue helped me so much when I first started and made me feel very welcome. She will be greatly missed. Sue has been patient, kind, and always willing to help. She goes above and beyond in her service to our schools, and it will be a difficult task to replace her. Best of luck, Sue. We will miss you. Sue is someone that when she walks into the room, you immediately feel her love and passion for athletics, Douglas County School District, and helping others. It's hard when you're in your district position to still have a strong connection to school sites, and Sue epitomizes how you can still build and maintain tremendous relationships in that capacity. She will be greatly missed by all of us in DCSD due to her passion, love, and energy to serve others. Nothing but amazing things to say about Sue. She is the most kind-hearted, gentle-spirited, loving person I know. She will do anything to help anyone at any time. I am truly blessed to know her. Sue is truly one of a kind and an amazing human being. Her efficiency and thoroughness help me keep my myriad of activities and events straight, and she always does things with a smile on her face. I know there have been days when she has wanted to give me a, quote, knuckle sandwich and making her life difficult, but I sure do love you, Sue, and will miss you terribly. Sue is among the kindest and most thoughtful leaders this district has ever seen. Sue has always been a great resource and always willing to help. Her calmness and patience, I have to reiterate, calmness and patience are something I strive for all the time. Thank you, Sue, for always listening and understanding our jobs at the school. Thank you for always working to ensure that what we are all doing is the best for our student athletes, coaches, and families. Whenever I need something, Sue is always there to help. Sue is incredibly patient, kind, and someone I can always count on. She will be incredibly missed at DCSD. Sue is one of the most amazing people I have had the pleasure of working with. She cares about people and kids and never thinks about herself. She is the definition of selfless. Thanks for everything you have done for kids. It is not gone unnoticed by those who know what you do. That's from her colleagues, you guys. Big round of applause for Sue. And just from my own perspective, I've got to spend the last 7 years with Sue. I am highly stressed that she's leaving. So she does so many things. I'm not even aware of probably half the stuff she does to help our department roll. So Sue and Brad with Addition, our department, I want to thank you so much for your, if you saw the theme, your kindness, your patience, looking out for kids, and just everything you have done to help our department. So she really is the glue for our department. I think it's funny, she thought we weren't honoring any adults today, right? But we had one adult honoree we definitely wanted to honor today, and she's very worthy of it. So she wants this event to go well for you guys. I know it's about the 90 girls sitting here, and she's the one who makes this event worthwhile and really brings it up a level to make it a special event for you all. But if we can just give one more round of applause for Sue Dakovich.
I know some of you don't know Sue, but just think of the person in your life that were those descriptive words and just project that. It's a really big deal. So again, Sue, we love you. Hey, I just totally squashed the applause. Hey guys, we're going to get rolling today with this excitement. I really hope that all of you pluses out there, those 90s that are out there, all the other people that we mentioned have slowed down, embraced the moment. The good news about this moment of being thankful is I have someone behind me that we are beyond excited to introduce to you today. Guys, we're honored to have Romy being here with us today. Romy's career at CBS News Colorado started by covering the Denver Broncos on CBS Colorado Mornings on a part-time basis. She used the experience to learn as much as she could about anchoring sportscasts, telling compelling stories, and connecting with the Colorado community. After 2 years of working mornings part-time, Romy landed a full-time position as the weekend sports anchor in 2018. Check this out. By 2022, Romy was named the 2022 Co-Colorado Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Associations. And in January of last year, Romy was named CBS Colorado's lead sports anchor. She is the first woman to be named a main sports anchor in Denver TV history. This is a quote from her. She says, "This is a responsibility I do not take lightly. So many incredible women have come before me and paved the way for me to break a new barrier. It's an honor and a privilege to continue what they started. I hope this shows young women and girls in sports are for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give it up for Miss Romy Bean?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. I'm truly, truly humbled to be standing in front of such an impressive group of young women. You know, I don't get nervous a lot speaking. I just came from the Super Bowl. I was on the red carpet interviewing legends of the game. Not nervous. I'm nervous talking in front of you guys today because you guys are the future. You're the difference makers. You're the ones that I hope my story might have an inkling of inspiration along the way. This makes me nervous, so like me. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Brad, for the introduction. I want to share my story a little bit, and the reason why I'm so honored to be here today is because I believe so deeply in high school sports and what it can do for you, and I am here today because of my high school sports experience, and we will come full circle with that. I grew up playing all sports. I got pretty heavy into dance at some point, and I was on POMs in high school, and it changed my life, obviously. So that was really the first point in my life where I started to figure out who I was. I feel like I was just kind of floating in the wind before then. I finally felt like I belonged somewhere. And I started to grow confident in who I was and maybe what I wanted to do with my life. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to somehow incorporate dance or my passion for dance moving forward. So I graduated, and as some of you will find out when you graduate, there's not a ton of opportunities to continue your athletic career. As you continue, it gets harder and harder, whether you go the college route or another route. I decided to audition for the Denver Broncos cheerleaders, and I made it straight out of high school, which when I think back is just wild. I thought I was ready for the moment, but it was a tough experience in a lot of ways. While it gave me so much, it was also really hard. I was in college, I was 18, I was in the dorms, my friends were going out partying, and then I was almost living this double life. I was expected to act like a 25-year-old, and I didn't know what that meant, you know, and I was surrounded by professional athletes and professionals and expected to act like a professional, and all my friends were out having fun, and I was like, did I make the right choice? Obviously, I'm living a dream. I get to be on the sideline at Broncos games. I'm a football fanatic. This is amazing. I get to do work in the community, but how can I be an ambassador for this community when I don't necessarily know who I am? So it was adversity I didn't expect in such a wonderful and an opportunity. What a gift it was to do that. But learning along the way, making a lot of mistakes along the way, and in such a public forum as well, was really challenging. And it led to me starting to realize what makes me stand out on this team. There's 26 women on the Broncos cheerleaders, and we always say everybody makes it for a different reason. And I started to realize that my voice, you know, I was a good dancer. I was like a third, fourth liner, you know. Oh, I wasn't one of the front girls, and that's okay. But I realized, what can I bring? And I started to realize it was my voice. I started getting sent out on more public appearances, and I realized I had a passion for it, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I had gotten into business school, and so I thought, I better stick with this. Business school is good. My dad's really happy. He's paying for it, thanks, Dad. So I should just go stay in business school. But there was this inkling of like, I love this public speaking. I love being the cheerleader who goes and hosts events and asks questions, but I'm not in journalism school, so I'm gonna stick with my path. I was a little afraid. I was afraid to take a leap and do something different. So I graduated from CU. I got jobs in marketing and sales. I was okay. I was never like fulfilled, you know? And I tried to do my best, but I just didn't have that passion. I moved to LA, I looked for that passion, I came back. Long story short, I was back, I was working a marketing job, and that passion I had when I was dancing on POMs in high school, I couldn't reignite it, I couldn't find it, so I thought, why don't I try out for the cheerleaders again? This was a big leap for me. It was 5 years after I tried out. Nobody had taken that much time off, first and foremost. The other piece of it, which I didn't mention before, was I had a lot of struggles my first time around. I struggled with an eating disorder. I had to go through, therapy to recover. It was a long road. So I was scared, and my parents were scared of, we don't want you to fall into that again. You just relearned who you are. You became who you are again. You got through that. You became strong again. But I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it, that I could do that and get the most out of it and have a healthy relationship with it. And so I took the leap and I made it. And I was able to have such an incredible experience and a healthy experience with it my second time around. And it's funny, the first time around I was on it for 5 years, the second time I was on it for 2 years. And those 2 years, I got so much more out of it because I knew who I was as a person, because everything I had gone through before, I used that to really elevate myself and to, for the first time, accept that, okay, I have pitfalls, you know? Sometimes it's easy to think you're invincible, and you realize you're not, and that's okay. And realizing moments that I felt weak, leaning on my parents, leaning on my support system. And so that is one huge piece of why I'm so proud of my experience as a cheerleader and what it taught me as a woman, as a person, and how you can come back, and if you fail the first time, it's not failing. You can learn and grow and become better. And in my healthier journey the second time around, I was asked to do a radio interview because nobody had taken 5 years off and then tried out again. You know, often we say like, football is a young man's sport, cheerleading is a young woman's sport, you know. Second time around, I was like 57 in cheerleader years. It was like, yeah, the body was like, ooh, it's not great. But I did a radio interview, and that passion when I was dancing on the field came back. And the man I did the interview with just said, man, you seem like you really enjoy this. I said, you know what, I think I've always wanted to do something in this field my whole life, but I've been scared, right? I've been scared to overcome it. I've been scared to take that leap. But I was scared to try out for the cheerleaders again of what might happen, and I've overcome that, and I'm in such a better place. Why don't I try? He said, look, if you want to learn about this, come on back to the studio tomorrow. I can't give you a job, I can't give you an internship, but I can show you the ropes. I showed up the next day. He came down and he was like, oh. He said, I've offered this opportunity to 50 people. Not one person has come back the next day and actually said, yeah, I want to learn. So that's your first lesson. If somebody offers you something safe and says, hey, yeah, you know, and says they want to help you out, they mean it. I think sometimes we feel like those are empty words when somebody says, hey, if there's anything I can do, let me know. What I've learned is that people mean that. People mean that. And he was shocked. And because I took that leap of faith, I started showing up every single day. I was working a full-time job. I was doing cheerleader rehearsals in the evenings, and then afterwards, he was on the evening show. I would go and I would sit there, and I would just learn the ropes. And I did this for about 6 months. And then a board op position came available. In radio, a board op is like entry level, pressing buttons, for lack of a better word, right? Making sure the volume's right, making sure the mics are on. You're not doing much. A lot of people do it in college, so they have it on their resume. If they want to get into journalism, they want to get into that kind of a career path. I was 27 years old, and I said, oh, I want to do it. So I took the leap. I left my job. I had to move out of my apartment because I couldn't afford it anymore. I moved back in with my parents, so shout out to your parents who will support you your whole lives and do so much and wouldn't be here without them. I lived with my parents for 2 years because I couldn't afford to move back into an apartment, and I kept thinking, gosh, what am I doing, right? Like, am I making a mistake? I'm 27. People who are 27 in this business are usually in their second or third market. They've already cut their teeth. Like, what am I doing? But I was at a place in my life where I started embracing the fear of doing it. And then came the next big challenge, breaking through as a woman in sports. Radio is very interesting, sports radio. I often like to call it the final frontier. I think that TV is a much more open to women in sports than radio is. So radio is a tough place to get started. I don't know why that is necessarily, but it kind of is. And so I worked my way up. A producer role became available. I started getting some on-air opportunities. But I had a boss that didn't really want me on air. So he kept trying to take me off air. But that guy who believed in me, who said, you can show up and I'll show you the ropes, he was the main host. And so he would try and sneak me on air bit by bit. So thankful to him for fighting for me. And I would try, and there were times I thought, this guy doesn't want me on air. Like, I'm not going to get anywhere. Should I give up? My parents are like, no, you shouldn't give up. You still live with us, so you should not give up. So I didn't, and I kept pushing, and I get those little opportunities, every time I got a chance on air. It's like, I'm just gonna make the most of it. I'm gonna study my tail off so that when I get my chance, I nail it. So that I can be prepared even if I get this much time on air, which is what I got. And eventually, the news director over at CBS Colorado, who's now the general manager, reached out. And he said, I've heard your takes, and I really like what you have to say. Have you ever done TV? I was like, no, but I'd love to. He's like, okay, do you have a reel? Can you send it over? So I ran outside, I recorded stuff, what I thought was a reel. It was not a reel. And I sent it to him, and he's like, okay, you know what, why don't you come in? We'll do some screen tests, we'll do some auditions. And I did a few, and he said, all right, look, we're gonna take a chance. We need someone in the mornings to do some part-time Broncos stuff. We can feel your passion, and I can tell you're working really hard, so let's try it out. It's my chance. It was my chance, and I had somebody who believed in me, and the boss at the radio who didn't love me was thrilled, because he said, oh yeah, I don't think that morning schedule is gonna work great. You probably shouldn't be on air there and on air here, so we're gonna take you off air. Okay, fine. It was fine, because I had my chance from somebody else. So I was working mornings part-time. I was getting up at 2:30 in the morning, doing TV, doing radio full-time in the day, doing cheerleader practice in the afternoon, just trying to cut my teeth and make it. Eventually, as Brad kind of went through, a weekend anchor position became available, and I thought, oh, I'm so ready for this. Yeah, I was not. You have no idea what you don't know till you experience. It was like breathing through a fire hose. And there were so many people along the way that wanted me to quit. Not necessarily internally, but a lot of people. And one thing I'll never forget is a guy that I'm actually very close with in the industry now. I did my first weekend hit, and he said, that really wasn't bad for a female. And this is funny, because he's super supportive of women in sports now. It just shows in a short period of time how far it's come. And I was like, oh, wow. And I took that the wrong way. So I took that as, okay, I better start molding into, let me study what all the men around me are doing. Let me start asking questions like they are. Let me start putting my reports together like they are, because that'll help me further my career, and then I'll fit in, right? And I did that for a while, and it wasn't until I realized, hang on, there's so much power in being a woman in this business, because I think about things differently. When I'm in the locker room, for a long time I kept thinking, why do I have such a different stream of questions than like everybody else does? And I thought it was wrong, until I realized it's not wrong. It's just a different way of thinking. I'm getting different answers. Maybe I'm getting a little bit more of the human side sometimes, and that's not a bad thing. You can think about things in multiple ways. And it wasn't until I embraced that, and I realized this is where my power lies, in that I am different, in that I can bring something different to the table, and tapping into my authentic self. That is when I started to really excel in this business. That is when my bosses started to say, we feel like maybe we could elevate you to be the first female to be a lead sports anchor here. Because I wasn't just giving the sports, I was giving myself in the sports. And I think you guys can think about that when you're on the court, you're on the field, wherever you are, you're on the floor. Obviously, you gotta have the technique, you gotta have the preparation, that goes without saying. But it's you, it's what you bring, it's your passion, it's your intensity, it's your personality that sets you apart, that changes, that brings you from good to great. It's why you're one of the 90 women in this room today, because you bring so much more than just that technique, than just that preparation. You bring yourself, you put yourself, you pour yourself into your sport, and that's why we're honoring you today. That's why you're the difference makers of tomorrow. And it's funny because being your authentic self is actually so much easier, but yet it's so much harder it was for me to realize, wow, this is how I can make a difference. I think it's really easy in this world to look around and say, I want to be like that person, I want to be like that person. I got to do it the way they do it, I got to do it the way they do it. But if you do it the way you do it, and you fail, because I failed a lot on air in front of everybody, but I know that I can get better and I can learn and I can grow from that. And I'm growing every single day when I stick true to who I am. And so my message for you here is trust your gut. It's a hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to do, but it's you. What you bring to the table, that's what makes you different. It's not your technique. I mean, it is a little bit, right? Your preparation, all those things, right? But like Caitlin Clark, right? What sets her apart? Okay, well, she's awesome. Let's just set the record from the logo, why not? But it's also who she is, right? As a player, as a person. Her entire personality is on the court. I look at her when she made that record-breaking shot last night. That's Caitlin Clark. To do it from the logo, to score the first 8 points of the game, not to go do it in a layup, right? That's her. That's what makes her special. So remember that as you carry forward in whatever you do in life. Be you, because that is why you're exceptional, and that is why I can't wait to one day be seeing each and every one of you and what you're doing and the difference that you're making in this world. So, with that, let's get started, shall we? And we are so honored to have a legend here, T.R. Ellis, joining us as a presenter today. TR's coaching journey began in 1979, Amarillo, Texas, where she was the 8th grade girls volleyball, basketball, and track coach. In the early 90s, she joined the coaching staff at Douglas County High School, and then in 1997 opened Chaparral, running the volleyball program there for 18 years, retiring after the 2014 season. That's amazing. During her coaching career, she earned 2 state championships, an undefeated season, 6 state Elite 8 and higher, over 10 district league championships, and hung the first volleyball banner in the DC gym. This is like a CVS receipt, her accomplishments here. She's coached 2 Gatorade Players of the Year, 5 All-Americans, and 1 National Player of the Year. TR has been named the Colorado Coach of the Year multiple times, along with the Chaska Coach of the Year. She was inducted into the Chaska Hall of Fame in 2017 and the CHASA Hall of Fame in 2021. The TR continues to stay involved with high school athletics, volunteering with CHASA and working the state volleyball tournament every year. Can we give this woman a round of applause? Yes. All right, I kind of want to run through the flow of events really fast, and then we'll get up here. So Castle View and Castle Rock, I want to let you guys know you're on deck. So if you could kind of line up on the side of the stage here as I just read through kind of how we're going to run through today. So Douglas County School District and the Foundation for Douglas County Schools are pleased to honor 5 high school and middle school athletes from each feeder. Girls from each of the high schools have found great success in competing across the state and sometimes the nation. They represent their school, school district, and communities with talent and class. Our middle school athletes have demonstrated their commitment to athletics and academics while demonstrating excellent sportsmanship, and we are pleased to be able to honor these exceptional athletes today. So before we begin this amazing celebration, I just want to quickly cover the logistics and the flow. Each feeder area, when called, will gather to the right of the stage. The right? Yes. We will ask the high school from that feeder area to come up on stage, followed by the middle school. Now, once you're on stage, we'll ask our award winners to line up. When their name is read, please step forward, be recognized. Now, for those in attendance today, please hold your applause until after each school is done. I know we want to applaud everybody, but we're going to do it with a big resounding clap when we do it as a group, each group at a time. Lastly, when we finish recognizing each feeder area, our award winners will exit the stage, head to the back of the room for a picture opportunity, and then return to their tables till the conclusion of the ceremony. All right, so with that, let's begin. Yes. Oh, and I also want to know that Chaparral Sierra, you're going to be on deck after these lovely ladies, so if you can kind of start to make your way to the side of the stage as well. Let's go.
All right. Castleview High School has selected 5 outstanding athletes to be honored. Ashlyn Acree. Ashlyn is a 4-year letter winner in softball, earning first team All-League in 2022 and 2023, as well as being named League Most Valuable Player in 2022. This year, she led the team to an undefeated league title. Ashlyn has had a great deal of success in the classroom as well, maintaining a 3.73 GPA. Her coach says, from her freshman year to the final game of her high school career at regionals, she played an integral role in the success of our program. She prepares like few others, and it shows every game day and in her postseason accolades. She has earned the title of captain for 2 seasons and accepted that responsibility with a great attitude. Ashlyn Acree. Tessa Bohm. Tessa is a force to be reckoned with both on the lacrosse field and in the classroom. From earning the coveted SaberCat Award and MVP title during her freshman year to consistently clinching first team All-Conference and All-State honors in 2021, 2022, and 2023. Tessa's prowess in lacrosse is matched only by her academic excellence. With a flawless 4.0 GPA, membership in the National Honor Society, and recognition as the CHSA Academic All-State Athlete, Tessa's dedication to both her sport and her studies is unwavering. Tessa will play lacrosse at Marquette University while pursuing a degree in physical therapy. Olivia Loveland. Olivia is a formidable presence on the basketball court. She is a 4-year varsity letter winner and 3-year starter, recognized as all-conference honorable mention during her sophomore year and second-team all-conference during her junior year. Olivia's most significant achievement lies in breaking barriers as the first Castleview girls basketball player to secure a Division I basketball scholarship. That's cool. Olivia is a 4-year academic letter winner with a 4.02 GPA and a member of Castleview's Student Athletic Leadership Academy. Olivia will play basketball at Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville while pursuing a degree in forensic, criminology/psychology, and law. Wow. Mila Nikanavro is a name synonymous with excellence both in the pool and the classroom. Mila is a reigning 5A state champion in the 500 freestyle with the second fastest time in CHSA history. She is currently ranked in the United States for high school in the 500 free with altitude. Let me say that again. She is currently ranked first in the United States for high school in the 500 free with altitude conversion. She's placed second in the 100 back and at the CHSA State Finals just last weekend. Mila is a 2-time Scholastic All-American and recently qualified for the 2024 Olympic trials in both the 800 and the 1500 freestyle events. Mila also maintains a 3.8 GPA. She's committed to The Ohio State University, where she plans to study finance while still continuing to pursue her passion for swimming. Let's give a hand for Castleview Athletics. We are happy to honor 5 excellent Castle Rock Middle School athletes. Marion Ashworth. Marion excels in flag football, basketball, and track. Marion is always willing to step up and meet the challenges head-on and never gives up until the final whistle. She always has a positive, can-do attitude in all of her accomplishments. Layton Brooks. Layton plays basketball, volleyball, and track. She constantly has a positive attitude and is a true leader by example both on the court and in the classroom. She pushes herself to her limits and is a perfect example of a student athlete. Bree Davis. I have never seen Bree without a smile on her face. She competes in volleyball, cross country, and track. She can brighten the darkest room. She encourages others to do their best and pushes herself to be better every day. A true leader on and off the court. Luciana Rojas. Luciana has been an amazing asset. She's a multi-sport athlete playing volleyball, track, and basketball. She is always learning and asking questions to better her game and the players around her. Her competitiveness is contagious. Congratulations to the Castle Rock Middle School athletes. Douglas County and Mesa, you are on deck. Line up on the right side of the stage, please. Chaparral High School has selected 5 outstanding athletes to be honored. Grace Johnson, my girl. Grace is a multi-sport athlete playing soccer, girls flag football, and basketball. Her athletic achievements include 3 consecutive years of earning second-team All-League, as well as being captain of her soccer and flag football teams. Grace was the leading scorer in her girls flag football inaugural season with more than 20 touchdowns, helping her team qualify for the girls flag football state championship. Gracie earned the 2023 All-State Academic Award, was on the honor roll, and a member of the Athletic Leadership Council. She is currently working through the recruiting process for college soccer, focusing on schools in Florida and North Carolina. Grace Johnson. Rowan Lapiano. Rowan has earned a 3.75 GPA. Her accomplishments include being named All-State in Soccer 2023 and All-Conference First Team since her freshman year. Rowan was voted MVP, Best Attacking Player, and was second in assists in the 5A Continental League Conference, with 9 for the 2023 season. She was awarded the Underclass Female Athlete of the Year in 2023. She will be leading her team this upcoming season as a captain. Rowan will be continuing her education and playing Division I soccer at the University of Denver. Eliza Leishman. Eliza is a 4-year Varsity Palms athlete. Her athletic achievements include All-Colorado Spirit Team, All-Colorado, First Team All-State, First Team All-State Honorable Mention, and Varsity Head Captain for her senior year. Eliza is this year's Student Body President. That's cool, and has earned multiple academic and leadership awards during her time at Chaparral. She began dancing when she was 2 years old, which was followed by competitive dance at the age of 6, and continues her career today. Eliza plans to attend college and major in business management with a minor in dance. Samantha Starkley. Samantha is a multi-sport athlete, lettering in unified basketball, cheer, soccer, and kickball. She is an honor roll student earning a 3.75 GPA. Samantha is in the musical Mamma Mia and also sings the national anthem at home sporting events, including volleyball, football, and basketball. Samantha earned Student of the Quarter and was named Wolverine Wake Up Employee of the Month. Her plans after high school are to attend an inclusive college and become a cook. Samantha, I can use you at my house when you get that cooking learned, okay? Natalie Trillett. Natalie is a 4-year varsity lacrosse player, earning a 4.1 GPA. Her athletic achievements include lettering in a varsity sport all 4 years, as well as all-league honorable mention. Natalie is a member of the National Honor Society and is lettered in academics all 4 years. She is involved with special education and Special Olympic sports. Natalie's plan after high school are to attend college, major in exercise science with a minor in American Sign Language, and go into occupational therapy school for special needs. Can we give a round of applause to the Chaparral athletes? We are happy to honor 5 excellent Sierra Middle School athletes. Anya Covington. Anya exemplifies the essence of a true leader and dedicated athlete competing in both track and cross country. Anya radiates strength and leadership, setting a high bar for her teammates. Her positivity and commitment were evident each day at practice, where she arrived with a contagious enthusiasm, motivating others to match her dedication. Anya also shines in academics as a member of the NJHS and Sources of Strength. Sahara Hernandez. Sahara is a multi-talented athlete competing in volleyball, basketball, and track. Despite stepping into basketball without prior experience, Sahara quickly became a standout asset for the team, showcasing her adaptability and dedication. Her contributions were equally impactful in volleyball, where her skill propelled the A team to district victories. Sahara maintains a high GPA, showing her dedication to athletics and academics. Elisa Plucker. Elisa's athletic journey this year stands as a testament to her remarkable adaptability and dedication. Transitioning from flag football to girls basketball, Elisa embarked on a new challenge, undeterred by the unfamiliarity of competing in a new sport. What truly set Elisa apart was not just her natural aptitude, but her unyielding commitment to growth. Brooklyn Snyder. Brooklyn couldn't make it today. Clara Von Felt. Clara embodies the essence of a true athlete. Clara wasn't just a basketball player. She was a force of unwavering commitment and relentless effort. Her hard work extended far beyond game day, evident in her tireless efforts in practice and her support for both the A and B teams. Clara gave 100% every time she set foot on the court. Can we have a round of applause for the Sierra Middle School athletes? Highlands Ranch and Crest Hill, you guys are on deck. Please line up on the right of the stage.
Are we having fun? I know, I'm sorry, I know we were supposed to wait for the applause. All right, let's keep this going. Douglas County High School is proud to honor 5 very talented athletes. Lily Bridgman is a 3-time varsity letter recipient in track and field and also lettered in the inaugural flag football team while maintaining a 3.7 GPA. Her coaches say Lily is an incredibly hardworking young woman who leads by her actions. She is a quiet, fierce presence on the track, and she has earned the respect of her teammates and coaches due to her determination and effort each day. And what's the first word that comes to mind with Lily Bridgman? Speed. She was unbelievable with the ball in her hands in flag football. Lily could score at any moment or run down anyone with a flag. Lily truly embodies the spirit of a well-rounded student athlete. Sydney Denker. She's been a staple in the cheer program since her freshman year. She has been part of 3 regional titles, 2 Continental League titles, a CHSAA state championship, as well as state runner-up, and landed as high as 7th place in the country in UCA Nationals. She's a dedicated student with a 4.09 GPA, all while supporting many other teams throughout their sports season. Her coach says, every day since her freshman year, Sydney has brought her high energy and focus to this team, uplifting each and every teammate to their highest of potential. Her commitment to excellence on behalf of our program has allowed us to shine brightly these last 4 years. Sydney plans to attend a 4-year university studying biological sciences. Quinn Graves has been involved in our inaugural flag football program, girls basketball, and girls tennis teams. She's earned 6 varsity letters and has been named captain in both flag football and girls basketball this year. Her ability to collaborate and inspire others has made her a respected figure in the school community, whether organizing events, leading group projects, or participating in student council and Camp DC. Her coaches state it perfectly. She's a great leader and teammate. She's willing to put the time into being the best she can be in everything she does. Her work ethic and leadership is second to none. She is an extra coach on the field, holding everyone accountable to her high standards. She is truly a one-of-a-kind athlete. Quinn plans to pursue a degree in marine biology. That's awesome. Morgan Miller has been involved with the girls basketball program in 2021-22 and a huge part of the DCHS track and field program, where she has been a 2-time team captain and letter winner. In 2023, she was the Husky Award recipient. Her coach says Morgan is one of the most dedicated and hardworking athletes on the track and field team. She's fearless and a fearless competitor and a genuine leader. Her teammates respect her for her positive vocal leadership and for the example she sets at practice each and every day. We look forward to Morgan's accomplishments in her final track season. Morgan plans to attend college in hopes of becoming a child psychologist. Let's give them a round of applause. What a group. All right, now we are pleased to honor 5 excellent Mesa Middle School athletes. All right, Sophie Griffith competed in flag football, basketball, and cross country. She has a positive attitude, is very coachable, and respects those around her, whether they be an adult or a peer. She is truly a student athlete where academics come first, as her grades will attest to. A well-rounded and talented athlete, her coaches and teachers are very proud of her. Addison Law demonstrates what a hardworking and passionate basketball player looks like and has always represented Mesa in a positive manner. a truly fierce competitor and natural-born leader who never shows fear in competition and leads by example. She is a very strong and confident young lady who is the embodiment of a student athlete. Reese Millar is always wanting to do better than the play before. She is an amazing volleyball player and a leader in all sports. She is always encouraging her teammates through any situation given to her. Reese continues to be an amazing person on and off the court. Shaylin Roselle is an outstanding student athlete. She excels at wrestling and competed at Mesa the last 2 years. Shaylin is very supportive of her teammates. As an academic, she always reaches for her best in the classroom. Shaylin not only is on our team for wrestling, but also engages in off-season practice and clinics to be her absolute best. All right, Legend and Cimarron, you're on deck, so please line up on the side of the stage.
Hiles Ranch is proud to recognize the following outstanding athletes. Renee Burton. Renee is a 4-time letter winner and captain of the girls swim team. She earned a total of 7 letters in swim, cross country, and track and field. In her junior year, she won the state championship in the 50-yard freestyle and placed second in the 100-yard freestyle. Renee will be the 3rd time All-Continental League swimmer and has earned all-state honors in multiple years. With a 4.29 GPA, Renee will be awarded the Academic Excellence Award in all 4 years of high school. She was recognized as a USA Swimming Scholastic All-American in 2022, awarded the Scholar Athlete Award in 2022, won the AP Scholar with Distinction Award in 2023. Renee will swim at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, where she will major in business. Valerie Mariquin Mira. Valerie is a 4-year letter member of the Palms team, earning the Scholar Athlete Award each year. She is the recipient of the National Hispanic Recognition Award and is an AP Scholar with Honors Award winner. Valerie is a consistent hard worker and kind. She has a 4.19 GPA and is committed to her education. Valerie plans to obtain a bachelor's degree in health and exercise science and then to continue on to become a physician's assistant. Celie Page. Celie has earned 4 varsity letters in softball, 1st and 2nd team Continental League, team most valuable player, outstanding offensive player, and Colorado Coaches of Girls Sport All-State Senior Recognition. Celie has been a leader for softball and was helpful to build and create the culture. She represents the all-in definition of what it means to be a student athlete with a 3.91 GPA, and she just received the National African American Recognition Award, which is scoring in the top 2.5% on the PSAT, NMSQT, you know, those tests, among all the African American population of test takers in the nation. Celie hopes to play softball in college while pursuing a degree in elementary education. Laura Pelillo. Laura will be a 4-time varsity letter winner in girls tennis and a 3-time letter winner in cross country. She has a 4.34 GPA and is a National Merit Commended Scholar. Last summer, she attended the MIT Math Roots Camp as one of only 20 students nationally. She attended the CU Gen Cyber Camp, where she earned the Extra Mile Award and Helping Hand Award for her contributions. Laura has served on the City of Town Council, the City of Lone Tree Teen Court, and Youth Commission for 5 years. Laura plans to pursue a degree in computer science. At the end of this year, Kat Tomlin will have earned 8 varsity letters, 4 in cross country and 4 in track. Kat is not only a vocal leader, but leads by example as well. In a sport that can be extremely individual-focused, Kat works hard to create a team that supports each other. She works hard for the benefit of the group. Kat has been a 4-year member of the honor roll with a 4.06 GPA. She has been a member of the NHS for 2 years and involved in student government all 4 years. In the fall, she will be attending Grand Canyon University. Round of applause for the Highlands Ranch athletes. We are pleased to honor 5 talented Crest Hill Middle School athletes. Samantha Bueller. Samantha is a kind-hearted individual who is involved in her school community both on the volleyball court and in ways that engage new students and those needing a friend. She plays with great energy and involves all of her team members. She gives unselfishly when asked to participate in school events outside the regular schedule. Samantha makes a positive mark on everyone in her sphere of influence. Muriel Covell. Muriel has exhibited an unwavering commitment to her sport, proving that determination knows no bounds. She perseveres through anything that is thrown her way and puts in full effort during practice and games. Her positive attitude is contagious, and she brings so much joy to her teammates. Her spirit, sportsmanship, and ability to overcome challenges make her a shining example of the values celebrated by this award. Ashley Howard. Ashley brings true quality to the volleyball court, her team, and her school. Ashley shows a great amount of tenacity on the volleyball court, improving in her skills and helping others along the way. She gives her time and energy to help others, asking nothing in return. Ashley is a true gift to all who know her. Jordan Jansen. Jordan is a remarkable athlete who embodies the true spirit of teamwork. On and off the field, she consistently goes above and beyond to support her teammates. Jordan is an invaluable asset to her team, always putting others before herself and inspiring those around her to do the same. She has been a true asset to the athletics program and our entire school community. Emily Newton. Emily is just so much more than just an athlete. She comes to practice every day expecting to work. She has her own personal goals in each sport, and she does all she can to make those happen. There are no shortcuts with Emily. She's a fierce competitor, but also extremely humble at the same time. She listens to critique, watches her competition, strategizes, pays attention to the little things, and is a very positive and supporting teammate. Congratulations to all the athletes from Crest Hill Middle School. Mountain Vista and Mountain Ridge, you are on deck.
All right. Legend High School is proud to recognize 5 very talented athletes. Sophia Backstrom holds a 4.02 GPA as a 4-year starter on the Legend girls soccer team. Sophia has been a 2-time academic all-state winner and student of the semester. She has earned Continental League First Team All-Conference as a junior and Second Team All-Conference honors as a sophomore, and is currently the top-ranked senior assassin in the class of 2024. I just wanted to say it like that. Her coach states, Sophia embodies leadership both on and off the pitch. She builds team culture through relationship building and is the hardest, most aggressive player I have ever coached. Sophia is on pace to be among our school leaders in assists and wins. Sophia has earned a Division I soccer scholarship to the University of Central Arkansas, where she will study pre-law. Emily Ruby is the most accomplished female track athlete to attend Legend. She has earned both Team MVP and Continental League First Team for 3 consecutive years. She placed 4th in the long jump in the state championship in 2022 and 6th in 2023. She's a member of the 4x100 relay state finalist team and a finalist in the sprint medley relay in 2023. Her coach says, Emily is a true track star. She exudes confidence and positivity even during the most tense moments, putting her coaches at ease with her humor, consistency, and dependability. This past fall, Emily also starred on the Legend flag football team as a deep threat and cornerback. Emily is excited to pursue a collegiate track career and weighing her offers. Katie Lamb has been a 4-year starter for our girls basketball program and has a 3.84 GPA. Katie has captained her team for 2 years, earned second-team all-conference honors as a junior, and been a two-time honorable mention for her freshman and sophomore years. Katie has led her team to their best finish in school history her junior year and currently leads the Titans with a #1 ranking in the state. Her coach says, Katie is the face of Legend girls basketball. When our girls were asked who should take the big shot and who's our captain, every voice and every vote went to Katie. She is unquestionably the standard setter for work ethic and love of the game within our program. Her influence will be felt for years to come. Katie has earned a scholarship to Fort Lewis College, where she will study business. And Hadley Symington embodies the spirit of a Legend athlete through her academic success, service to her school community, and participation in multiple sports. She carries a 3.85 GPA, was junior class president, and has participated in cross country, swim, basketball, flag football, and soccer. How do you have time? No, yeah. Her coach states, as a 3-year varsity player, Hadley has redefined our culture, showcasing her leadership qualities and ensuring every member of our program feels valued. She is a great example for young girls who love sports, a standout soccer player who then captained our inaugural flag football team. Hadley shows that being coachable and the hardest worker on the field can also be fun. That's a big reason why she was chosen by her own teammates for one of our highest leadership awards and led our team to a Final 8 appearance in our inaugural season. Hadley is still undecided on her college, but convinced it will be somewhere she can stay warm year-round. So not here, probably. Yes. Please join us in. All right, please now join us in honoring 5 great athletes from Cimarron Middle School. McKenna Callahan is highly motivated and consistently demonstrates her best work both on and off the court. She's a stickler for details and values collaboration, always approaching interactions with kindness and respect towards both peers and adults. McKenna excels academically and always strives for excellence. Grace Meinberg truly embodies the very essence of maturity, kindness, and sportsmanship. Her dedication to volleyball, flag football, and her teammates is truly inspiring. Not only does she excel as an athlete, but her leadership and support for her peers exemplify the true spirit of teamwork. Her maturity in handling both victories and defeats is a testament to her character. Sasha O'Hara is the epitome of a student athlete. Her performance as a dedicated athlete is mirrored in the classroom. She is a leader who exemplifies good sportsmanship while having a strong sense of competitive motivation. She believes in herself, but knows that the road to success is one of constant discipline and improvement. Lizzie Runyon is an exceptional young lady both on and off the field. She's no stranger to hard work and not afraid to take on a challenge both in sports and in the classroom. Everywhere she goes, Lizzie is an inclusive friend and teammate to all. She is loved by her classmates, teammates, teachers, and family. We are thrilled to recognize Vienne Wold for her outstanding contributions to sports and her remarkable leadership qualities. She has participated in track, basketball, and cross country, showcasing her dedication and versatility as a student athlete. She embodies wisdom and natural leadership, often bringing humor and positivity to her interactions without even realizing it. Her positive impact on our school community is truly commendable. Let's give them a round of applause. Ponderosa and Sagewood, you're on deck, so hop on over there to the side of the stage.
We are pleased to recognize 5 outstanding athletes from Mountain Vista High School. Lily Boydston, Lily is a 3-year varsity player in basketball and 4-year varsity player in soccer, while earning a 3.84 GPA. In basketball, she was the second team All-Conference and honorable mention All-State. In soccer, she was All-Conference and All-State. She is first team academic All-State in both sports. She will continue her soccer career leading our team this spring and will attend the University of Arkansas on a soccer scholarship next fall. Haven Haskell. Haven is a 2-sport athlete playing volleyball and lacrosse. She is a first-team all-conference setter on 2 Final Fours in volleyball. She's played on the lacrosse team that made the quarterfinals. She maintains a 4.15 GPA and is first-team academic All-State and a member of the National Honor Society. She is undecided on her college, but she plans on studying engineering. Riley McDonald. Riley lettered in both soccer and football while maintaining a 4.02 GPA. In soccer, she was first-team All-Conference as a junior and second-team All-State. She is the first varsity female football kicker at Mountain Vista. Atta girl. She's a member of the National Honor Society and was first-team academic All-State. She will lead our soccer team this spring and will continue her soccer career next fall at Louisiana State University on a soccer scholarship. Belle Malia. Belle has been a varsity Pom for the past 3 seasons. She is currently the student body vice president and has been in leadership all 4 years. In Pom, she was the Continental League first team as well as All-State first team. In her 3 seasons, the team has been state runner-up twice, and this past season were named state champions in the all-classification Jazz division. The team has been league and regional champs all 3 seasons. Belle maintains a 4.21 GPA and is a member of the National Honor Society. Her coach says, Belle is one-of-a-kind leader and dancer, and it's been a pleasure to be her coach. Belle plans on attending the University of Arizona, majoring in business, and hopes to be a member of their dance team. Round of applause for the Mountain Vista athletes. We are also honoring 3 wonderful athletes from Mountain Ridge Middle School. Emmy Marlowe. Emmy works hard as an athlete and leads with inspiration and integrity while playing flag football, basketball, and track. She is an excellent athlete with keen, anticipatory moves, speed, and skill. In the classroom, Emmy continuously gives her very best as a collaborator, leader, and classmate. Students are drawn to her kindness, her work ethic, and her enthusiasm. Isha Parsons. Isha is one of the most positive and hardest working students her coaches have known. She has a clear goal for volleyball and did everything she could to achieve moving on to the next level. And she did it. She is a peer leader and her grades are exceptional. Staff can always count on Isha to be the role model and leader at our school. Cabri Vaughn. Cabri is dedicated to her sport and her team. She has been a member of track, cross country, basketball. She's been a member of track, cross country, and the basketball teams both years. She is a quiet leader who works to bridge the gap between the 7th and 8th grade athletes. Cabri has not only grows in her athletic skills, but also in her confidence as a competitor. It has been a joy and an honor to have Cabri in class. Her enthusiasm lights up everyone around her. Round of applause for the Mountain Ridge Middle School athletes. Rock Canyon and Rocky Heights, you are on deck.
Ponderosa High School is proud to honor 5 excellent athletes. Sarai Lopez is competing right now at the state wrestling tournament, so she is not with us today, but we are honoring her. Kiera Marshall participated in volleyball and our first ever year of girls flag football. She was the captain of the team and lettered this year. She is a fierce competitor and contributed to the team's success. She carries a 4.0 GPA, has lettered academically, and is currently taking an aviation class. Kiara's coach says, Kiara always puts 100% into every task. She stepped up as a leader on our team by earning a captain position. Off the field, she excels in her studies, including multiple AP and concurrent enrollment courses. She is quiet but kind, funny, and is always willing to help. She is a shining example of what being a student athlete embodies. She plans to go to college for aerospace engineering next year. That's awesome. Reese McMillan has participated in both girls volleyball and girls golf. She lettered in both sports and was captain of the golf team and showed academic excellence through being named Academic All-State 3 times. She carries a 3.9 GPA, is a member of the National Honor Society, and has earned multiple academic letters. Her coach describes her as someone I can always count on. Her leadership has always impressed me both on and off the court. She is positive, resilient, and shows kindness to everyone. She has made a huge impact on the volleyball program. Reese plans to attend CSU next year and pursue a degree in law. Lauren Tongren has participated in 4 years of girls varsity soccer and 1 year on the girls basketball team. She was a 4-year letter recipient, academic all-state, carries a 4.0 GPA, is a member of the National Honor Society, and has received our Stang Award. Her coach describes her as a hardworking and resilient athlete. She worked through an ACL injury, but showed up to practice, every game. Her dedication to the team has led to her earning a captain position. We are incredibly proud of Lauren and wish her all the best in her next adventure. And Olivia Trombley has participated in softball all 4 years and track the last 2 years. She has earned a number of awards, including First Team All-League, First Team All-State, 3 times at Team MVP, Athlete of the Month, and Continental Player of the Year. Her coach has loved coaching Olivia and watching what she has done and how she inspires her teammates. Olivia is the epitome of what hard work looks like, and she has no doubt that Olivia will be a big contributor to Towson University in many ways. Let's give them a round of applause. We are also honoring 4 outstanding middle school athletes from Sagewood Middle School. Zelma Bailey competed in basketball and is the ultimate utility player. If you need her to play 2 games, she will. She has impressed me so much this season with her attitude and play on the court. I'm lucky to have been able to coach her for the last 3 years. You have a very bright future, Zelma. Huntley Buffton competed in basketball and cross country. She served as a very valuable piece to our girls' basketball team this year. She is the ultimate competitor and an even better person. It's been an honor to see her grow in her sport, and it was truly an honor to coach her this season. Huntley, keep excelling and never stop being you. Maya Dyer competed in volleyball, and she's exactly what you're looking for in a well-rounded athlete. She's hardworking, reliable, and dedicated to her teammates. When she's not in season for 8th grade sports, she steps up and is willing to help keep score for other teams, as well as attend practices to support her peers in lower grade levels. Mia, you have been an asset to all of our sports programs. Thank you. And Julia Lehman competed in volleyball and basketball. Julia has evolved into a reliable asset to any team she's a part of. She is coachable and hardworking. She's always willing to help set up for practice or help a teammate. She always has a great attitude, and it has been my honor to coach her for the last 2 years. Keep striving for greatness, Julia. Let's give them a round of applause. Thunder Ridge and Ranch View, you're on deck, so please make your way over to the side of the stage.
Rock Canyon is happy to honor 5 exceptional athletes. Leah Cross. Leah is a 4-year varsity pom and captain for the 23-24 season. She is a 3-time state champion, 1-time state runner-up, 4-time league champ, and a national medalist. and has been selected to the Colorado CSCA All-Colorado Spirit Team twice. Leah maintains a 4.3 GPA and has been involved in numerous honor societies and has over 150 hours of community service. Her coach says, while Leah has just about every accolade possible in our sport, what we admire most about her is her commitment and dedication. She is a strong captain who persevered through injuries to lead our team to success. Leah will be attending a 4-year university to pursue a degree in business administration. Gabby Dyer. Gabby participated in swim the past 4 years. She has been a 5A state team member every year and last year placed 5th in the 200 free and 4th in the 500 free, along with top 16 in the relays. Gabby was the Continental League champion in 200 free and 2nd in 500 free and top 3 in relays and set the school records in both 200 free and 500 free. Gabby maintains a 3.6 GPA and is a member of the academic all-state team. She will have earned 4 academic letters and been on the honor roll all semesters. Her coach says Gabby is truly one of the most supportive, humble, and graceful teammates and swimmers. She is strong, resilient, and a fierce competitor. In addition, Gabby motivates, inspires, and supports all of her teammates. Gabby is committed to swim at the University of Kansas, Rock Chalk Girl, and will major in pre-law. Clara Guzman. Clara Guzane, got it, has competed in soccer where she is second team All-League twice and was first team All-League as a junior. She earned second team All-State last season and was the team MVP. Clara has maintained a 4.0 GPA, earned highest honor roll all 4 years, and is a member of the academic All-State team. Her coach says, Clara is the most complete team player who will play any position needed without complaint. She will stay positive on the field and she will always lead by example. Nobody on the field will play harder or give more of themselves than Clara. She is a primetime player who stands out in the most competitive games. No coach prepared to play our team without attempting to minimize the impact of Clara that she would have on the game. Lucky for us, that is easier said than done. Clara has committed to play soccer at the University of San Diego, where she will study neuroscience. Jaden Shirley. Jaden has competed in tennis and been a varsity cheerleader all 4 years, where she is currently team captain. Jaden has been recognized as the NIFID Top 20 First Team All-American, a member of the All-Colorado Spirit Team, a UCA All-American, a Continental League champion, and a multiple-time finalist at UCA Nationals, while maintaining a 4.02 GPA. Her coach says, Jaden is one of the best cheerleaders to have ever come through our program. She has an incredible work ethic and has kept her involved in Stuco, choir, tennis, and cheerleading. Her tumbling and flying skills are unparalleled, and her kind heart and giving spirit makes everyone on the team trust and rely on her. Jaden has been accepted to the Lead School of Business at CU Boulder. She plans to major in marketing and is excited to cheer on the Buffs next year, either from the sidelines or the stands. Round of applause for the Rock Canyon High School athletes. We are also honoring 5 amazing athletes from Rocky Heights Middle School. Ari Griffin. Ari embodies the idea of a perfect student athlete. Ari is not only a great volleyball player with tenacity and drive, but she's also an excellent student. She takes school seriously, keeps up with her classes, and puts 100% into everything she does. Ari is also extremely kind to everyone, her teachers, her friends, and her teammates. Kelsey Messmer. Kelsey participated on the cross-country and track teams. She's a positive role model for the entire team, but especially the younger runners. Kelsey always gives 110% in all that she does. Her addition, her positive attitude always comes through. She is a pleasure to coach. Maddie Schieffer. Maddie participated on the cross-country and track teams. Maddie has been named team captain for both teams and leads by example. Not only is she a talented athlete, but she keeps her academics up and participates as a yearbook staff member covering sports as well. McKenna Wativich. McKenna ran track for the first time and was a huge contributor to the team. She is a dedicated athlete who puts in the work to be the best athlete she can be, and a great teammate as well. McKenna is also an extremely hard worker in the class. Please, a round of applause for the Rocky Heights Middle School athletes.
Thunder Ridge has chosen 5 talented athletes to honor today. Caitlin Boyle has been a force both on the trail and the track as a 4-year starter in both cross country and track. Caitlin is a 2-year captain in both sports, while being named second team All-League and academic All-State. Caitlin is a leader of the Desire to Lead program, participates in Thunder Ridge's IB and AP classes, is part of the National Honor Society, Tri-M National Honor Society, Peace Jam, and is a member of Thunder Ridge's Chamber Orchestra. Next year, Caitlin will continue her athletic career running cross country and track for Colorado Mesa University. Ben Kaiser Cochran is a 3-sport athlete participating in flag football, basketball, and track and field. Ben received the Grizzly Award for flag football in the inaugural season, CHSAA All-Academic Team for basketball and track and field, and is a 3-time CHSAA All-State Honorable Mention for basketball. Ben will attend Rochester Institute of Technology to play basketball and major in furniture design with a double major in studio arts. OZOU is competing right now at the state wrestling tournament, so not able to be with us today as well. Good luck to all the ladies competing. Ryan Stolk is a 3-sport athlete excelling in cross country, swim, and track. Ryan has been a varsity athlete in all 3 sports, including cross country and swim for all 4 years. Ryan has excelled in swimming, qualifying for A-League 4 years in a row, and named captain the past 2 years, and qualifying for state the past 3 years. Ryan has been named All-State as well as academic All-State. Ryan is very active in National Honor Society and is the Speaker of the House for Student Government. Ryan will attend Brigham Young University, majoring in construction management. And Becca Winton has excelled in basketball and track and is known for her leadership and drive. In 2021 and 2022, Becca was named All-League Honorable Mention in soccer and second team All-League in basketball. In 2022-23, Becca was named first team All-League in basketball. Becca will forever be remembered for the historic season when she helped lead the 10-seed Thunder Ridge girls soccer team to win 15 straight games to win the 2023 5A state girls soccer title. Becca's 9 saves in the championship game led the Grizzlies to the title. As a result, Becca was named second team All-League, first team All-State, the Continental Athlete of the League Athlete of the Month, and the Denver South Metro Soccer Player of the Year for 2023. Becca has lettered in academics the past 2 years with a 4.0 GPA. She will continue her athletic career playing soccer at the college level. Let's give them a round of applause. We are also honoring 4 great athletes from Ranchview Middle School. Cassidy Belling is a great leader on the court, in the classroom, and throughout the building. Her positive attitude and awesome work ethic has set her apart from her peers. Cassidy has participated in many sports and activities and has excelled at each. Lizzie Goodnow is one of the hardest working student athletes and is also a fantastic teammate. She's a positive leader on the court, in the classroom, and in our building where she is the president of student government. She helps our students become better leaders and better people. Demree Lassen is extremely talented volleyball player and works very hard to be at the top of her game at all times. As a team captain, she inspires her team to work together and create an environment of mutual respect no matter their position or skill. She understands that the team is the most important part of the game. DeMarie is just as successful in her studies as she continues to make honor roll every semester. And Ella Rathke continues to grow as a multi-sport athlete and has been a great leader on the court and in the classroom. Ella's infectious attitude helps those around her enjoy whatever sport or activity they're doing. As the Vice President of Student Government, she provides great opportunities for our students. Let's give them a round. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. It's been such an honor to recognize these incredible, incredible young women. This is only the beginning. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Yeah. Celebrate yourselves.